Salads are an easy way to work more vegetables into your life, but sometimes they can seem kind of boring, or maybe they aren't as filling as you want them to be. So how can we make our salads more interesting and more satisfying? That's what we're going to talk about today. So this is a topic that was suggested in the comments of one of my other videos. I posted a video asking what kinds of things you guys would be interested in seeing, what types of videos you're really enjoying, and I got a comment asking about salads. And the comment said, honestly, I'm trying to eat more salads because I like the taste and they seem healthy. Do you have any salad dressing recommendations or things to make salads more interesting? And I thought this was a great question for us to discuss because salads do have the reputation of being like the healthy thing to eat, but a lot of times you might find that they're not very interesting, or you're kind of eating the same type of salad all the time, or maybe you eat a salad for a meal but then you're hungry right after and it's just not sticking by you. So we're going to talk about all of that stuff today, and I'm going to give you a lot of examples, show you some different foods so it can be really clear how you can make all of this work. And before we get into the food, I do want to let you know, if you happen to be new here, that my name is Sarah and I'm a registered dietitian, and this whole channel is about food and nutrition stuff. So if you're into that sort of thing, then make sure that you subscribe. Okay, so the first thing I want to point out here with the salads is that salads are not a required food. Like I mentioned earlier, I do think a lot of people think of salads as the healthy thing to eat, but you do not have to eat salads to be healthy. You don't have to eat any one food or any one meal to be healthy or to get the nutrients that you need. So if you're not into salads, that's perfectly fine, and you can definitely have a healthy overall diet without having salads in there. But I do think that salads are really great for several reasons. First off, they're a really easy way to work in a lot of vegetables because that's kind of the star of the show when it comes to salads. A lot of times, the foundation is veggies, so it's great for that. And it also is a quick meal, so it's really nice when you don't have a ton of time to make something. You can throw together a salad really quickly if you just have a few ingredients on hand. And salads can also be a great way to use up leftovers from the week, so you're not wasting that food and throwing it in the trash. You can repurpose it as an ingredient in your salad. Now, when it comes to making your salads more interesting, variety is key. If you're just putting the same few things in your salad all the time, that is going to get boring because you don't have a lot of stuff going on and it's not changing from salad to salad. So think about incorporating different types of greens. Maybe sometimes you have romaine lettuce, sometimes you have something like arugula mixed in that gives that nice peppery flavor, or maybe your salad is 100% arugula. There's all kinds of other greens that you can incorporate, but try to switch up that base, and then the other veggies you're putting on there, switch those up too. Also think about flavor boosters like nuts and seeds and cheeses and olives. Those are great ways to kind of amp up the flavor. You can also work in different herbs like basil or cilantro or mint. Just think about incorporating different flavors, different textures, getting that variety in there, and from salad to salad, tweaking those things a little bit. And something that I find works really well with this too is to pay attention to what's in season. So maybe you're putting strawberries in the spring, but you're putting apples in your salad in the fall. And also think about the other flavors that kind of go well with those things. So getting that variety is really going to make it a lot more interesting for each salad that you eat, just packing in all of that flavor. But also when you're thinking about going from salad to salad, it not being the same all the time is really going to help make it more interesting too. The next thing you want to think about with your salad is incorporating carbs, fat, and protein. Having all three of those is really important for any satisfying meal, and the same thing goes for salads. And I think this is a big reason why a lot of people find that salads aren't satisfying or don't stick with them afterwards, is because they're cutting out one of these things. Because a lot of times people are eating salads because they're on a diet. It's a part of some sort of diet, and diets a lot of times do restrict certain foods, certain nutrients, that sort of thing. So if you're not having any carbs with your salad, or you're not having any fat with your salad, then that could really affect your enjoyment in the moment, but also how it makes you feel after you eat it. So we want to have all three of those things in there, and we're going to talk about that in terms of real actual food so you can see what that looks like. But I think another thing to remember, kind of going off of that, is that if you feel like you don't like salads, it might be because you use them as a part of dieting. If salad to you is diet food, then that can set up a negative connotation, and that happens a lot of times with lots of different foods. If there's a food that you have to eat a lot of on a diet, or you kind of think of as the thing I eat when I'm dieting, that can set that food or that meal up in your mind as not being enjoyable or being something that you have to do, not something that you want to do. And that can be a side effect of diets, which is one reason why diets aren't great for us, along with a bunch of others. So just keep that in mind. If you feel like you don't like salads, it might be because it was part of a diet plan that you did in the past, and so you're having that negative connotation in your mind. So now let's talk about those three main components, and I'll give you some examples. So the first one we're going to talk about is protein. Now, protein is important, obviously, for giving us the protein that we need. Also, some other nutrients are going to come along with those protein foods. But protein also is going to be one of the things that helps keep us feeling satisfied so that we're not super hungry right after we eat our salad. So a few examples of that would be something like fish or chicken or steak or pork, any of those. Eggs are another one. If you like hard-boiled eggs, then that can be a good protein source to put in your salad. Nuts and seeds are another one. And then also beans are going to be another source of protein. So you want to be thinking about having some sort of protein in your salad, and you could have one of these, but you could also have a combination of a few of them. Next up, we're going to talk about fat, and I want to put a special note about fat here because fat is one of those things that a lot of times people cut out of their salads because they're on some sort of diet, and that is a huge mistake because fat on its own is an essential nutrient. We need fat. But fat is also important for helping us to feel full and satisfied after our meal, again, so we're not feeling hungry again just like that. And it's important for the absorption of other nutrients. So to absorb vitamins A, D, E, and K, we need fat because those are fat-soluble vitamins, which means you need fat to absorb them. So if you're not having any fat in your salad, then those vitamins in the other foods that you're eating are not going to get absorbed properly. They're just going right through you, and you're missing out on a lot of the nutrition that's in that meal. So we want to make sure we're having some sort of fat in there. Plus, fat helps make things taste good, which is also another bonus. So when it comes to fat, you have a lot of different options. The first obvious one is going to be any sort of fat that's in your salad dressing. So if you have a salad dressing that has olive oil in it, the olive oil in that dressing, that's going to be a source of fat, or any other sort of fat that's going in a dressing that you're using. Other things that can add fat to a salad are avocado. Nuts and seeds are also a source. We talked about those as a protein food, but they also have fat. Eggs, again, another protein source that also has fat in it. And any of the fish or chicken or steak or pork, any of those meats that we talked about before, those all have some fat with them too. Now it's going to vary a little bit. If you have something like salmon, that's a fatty cut of fish. That's going to have more fat versus maybe something else that's a little bit lower in fat. But all of those are going to have some fat in there. And another fat source as well is cheese. Now let's talk about carbs. And carbs are another one that people miss a lot of times. And you want to work those in there because, again, we want that variety. We want the carbs, fat, and protein. Carbs give us that kind of quick, immediate energy, and having them as a part of a meal is just going to make your meal overall more satisfying. Again, you have a lot of options here. So one thing that you can incorporate is fruit. Fruit is a great thing to put in your salad. I have some strawberries here, but really any fruit that you like works. And not only is this a source of carbohydrate and the other vitamins and minerals that are in here, also some fiber, but it really bumps up the flavor. Adding that fruit in with your salad makes things a whole lot more interesting. You have the sweet and the savory kind of going together. It's really, really good. And again, any type of fruit that you like will probably work in there, and you can change it up from salad to salad. Another thing you can have is some sort of bread. So if you want to have bread on the side, or if you want to have some croutons, that can be a source of carbs. Beans, we talked about them in the protein group, but they also have carbohydrates, so that's another source. Corn, peas, potatoes, quinoa, any other kinds of grains will work. Maybe if you're doing a salad that has kind of a lot of Mexican type flavors. Maybe you want to have some corn chips with that. That could be good. It's kind of like a dipper scoop type of thing. Again, lots of different options, and you just pick what sounds good to you and what kind of goes along with the theme of that salad. And so you can see with all of the different options that we just talked about, plus all the countless ones that I didn't even mention, there are so many different things that you can switch in or switch out or mix together to make your salads more interesting and more satisfying. And don't limit yourself to one thing from each group. Take a couple things. You know, you can pick multiple things from each group. I almost always have multiple things from each group in every salad that I make. And again, that's just going to give you all the variety and the flavors and textures and nutrients and all that stuff coming together to make things taste better, to make the flavors and textures more interesting and more varied, and make your salad more satisfying so you're not hungry again right after you eat it. And let me know in the comments, do you have any favorite salad toppings or ingredients or mix-ins that I didn't mention, or maybe some favorite combinations? Because I'm sure everyone would like to hear some new ideas, and I always like to hear new ideas too for ways to switch up my salad. So definitely leave those in the comments. And if you happen to be new here and you want more healthy eating tips and nutrition info and videos like this one, then make sure that you subscribe, because eating healthy and living a healthy lifestyle really doesn't have to be complicated, and I want to show you how to do it. And if you want to watch some more videos, I have a couple linked over here that you might like. Thanks for watching. I hope you're having a great day, and I'll talk to you next time.